Okay, live on TV3 Ghana on DSTV's channel 279. My name is Josh Quinn. Top of the stories is are. Supreme Court to hear injunction application against the removal of Chief Justice later today. Also coming up this morning, Asante Otunfo said to the second set to resume mediation of the Boku conflict from April 28. Ghana awaits IMF board approval for fifth tranche of bailout after receiving staff level agreement. Well, we have details of these stories and many more coming up in the next 20 minutes. If you spend your time with me, you can also get interactive with us. We're live on Facebook, TV3 Ghana. On to our very first story. The Supreme Court has set the hearing of the injunction application against petitions for the removal of Chief Justice to Wednesday, April 16. That's today. The court last week adjourned the hearing indefinitely after receiving notice from the Attorney General citing his unavailability due to a symposium he was attending. Former Attorney General Godfrey Yeboah-Dame, representing plaintiff Vincent Assefuah, expresses his disappointment at the failure of his successor not to attend the hearing. Both plaintiffs are seeking an order from the Supreme Court to halt the ongoing processes triggered by 3 petitions, all seeking the removal of the Chief Justice. They insist that the processes cannot proceed because the Chief Justice was not given a fair hearing before consultation started. Well, the legal team will be at the court today and bring you updates in our subsequent bulletin, so stick with TV3. And now the Ministry of Finance says it has reached a staff-level agreement with the International Monetary Fund, IMF, after a 4th review of Ghana's performance on the fund. According to the Finance Minister, although several structural benchmarks and quantitative targets under the program were breached at the time the NDC assumed office, government has managed to reverse the situation. There's more in this report.
Ghana's 3-year IMF program, which commenced in 2023, has made steady progress despite some critical challenges in 2024. After a 2-week review by the IMF team and their Ghanaian counterparts, it emerged that government has implemented a number of spending control mechanisms which have fast-tracked the implementation of certain structural reforms ahead of schedule while embarking on additional reforms. The Finance Minister noted that government has passed an amendment to the Procurement Act to ensure that all central government procurement contracts go through the Minister for Finance under the authority or Central Tender Review Committee.
With pragmatic and bold measures have been put in place to address the large payable build-up as at end 2024, which resulted in large primary deficit compared to the program modest surplus. These measures aimed at strengthening our spending commitment control system, eliminate the accumulation of payables, enhance budget credibility, and promote fiscal and debt sustainability. These measures include the following. 1. We have commissioned the Auditor General together with 2 international audit firms to audit the payable and commitment to validate their legitimacy and value and provide recommendations for collective actions.
On ECG and revenue collection, the Finance Minister noted that the implementation of the recently announced quarterly tariff adjustments by PURC was executed to satisfy the structural benchmark conditionality under the program. On his part, the IMF Mission Chief, Stéphane Roudet, commended government for their quick recovery to get back on track with the IMF program objectives.
First, the external position has continued to improve with rapid accumulation of international reserves by the Bank of Ghana, and indeed the accumulation of reserves has clearly outperformed the program objectives. Economic growth in 2024 was also stronger than expected. However, overall performance with respect to the program's targets and objectives deteriorated significantly at end 2024, reflecting policy slippages in the run-up to the general elections. Both the government's primary balance and inflation missed the targets. Several structural reforms have also been delayed, and some of the milestones in this area were missed. Fortunately, since then, the authorities have adopted bold corrective measures in several areas to ensure observance of the program objectives for 2025 and beyond.
In more news this morning, the Asante Otumfuo Sertu II is set to resume mediation of the Boku conflict as agreed with the feuding factions from April 28 to May 1, 2025 at the Menchia Palace in Kumasi. In a brief statement released some few hours ago, the Asante requested all stakeholders involved in a collective effort to bring about lasting peace in Boku to cooperate with Menchia as efforts are intensified to resolve the conflict, which has resulted in many casualties and destruction to properties and livelihoods. Well, let's still stay on the Boku conflict, and conflict resolution and labor consultant Austin Game says the panel of mediators led by the Asante Otumfuo Sertu II must be impartial in their deliberations for a fruitful outcome. Take a listen.
The truth is that the so-called political beneficiaries has no space in this matter. Now, anybody in a political cassock that think that they have a part in the process will have to apply to the parties coming to the mediation and come and participate in it, because they will have no say whatsoever. That's why it is now a state-sponsored and not government-sponsored. Once they have a proper ground rules in place, using proper protocol language of mediation, and they have authority to participate in the process, I strongly believe they are ready to go.
All right.
Because they also have to engage the services of translators to translate from English to either Mamprosi language or Kusasi language, whichever way it is.
Well, away from the Boku conflict, small businesses in Ghana are decrying the proposed utility tariff increment. They fear the increased costs will negatively impact the operations and the ability to compete on the global market. Judith Brown reports.
With tariffs set to kick in next month, many small businesses are preparing for the massive impact. In this window, water is seeing a 4.02% increment and electricity a 14.7% increment. Essentially, if you spend an average amount of 1,000 cedis on electricity every week, by May 2025, that amount will increase by 140 cedis. For small business owners who depend heavily on water and electricity for their livelihoods, they are already facing a crisis. Genevieve is owner of Jenny's World.
Almost everything we do here, we use light and water, especially pedicure. We use water. We still use light because we have to plug it for the client to relax. You get it? And facials, we also have to on our steamer. We still need light. Drying of nails, we still need light. Everything is light and water.
She explains such an increment will have rippling effects on operational costs, potentially squeezing her profit margins and leading to service price hikes.
It's really going to affect us because even the bills we are paying now, madam, it's not easy. But we are just trying our best. If it's been increased, then we have to also increase our prices. Some of the clients, immediately you change your prices, you won't see them again.
Her customers couldn't agree less.
We don't die because even now, we are paying more. Looking at the expenditure, we incur at the end of the month, the salaries we get, and we know that this is a luxury. For me, it's part of me, so it is going to affect my budget, especially when my salary is not increased.
But Genevieve is not alone. Several other business owners are dreading the proposed utility tariff increments. Here at the Laundry Safari, utility bills are set to see a significant rise.
In a week with electricity, I'm spending about 1,000 cedis in a week. And with water comes monthly. Monthly, averagely, spending about 800, 900 cedis. Yes, so with this increase, then it means it has to increase 14%. Yeah, it's a lot.
This leaves an Adjoa at a crossroad. Either absorb the costs or pass it on to her customers. But considering the cost of rent and other materials, the latter seems a better option.
I would have to increase my prices as well, in as much as I don't want to lose my customers, because if you increase the price and someone is not increasing, this shifts to the person. So I need my clients, I need my customers, but then to keep me in business, I would have to increase it a little bit. Yeah.
Clearly, increased utility costs will only compound problems for businesses which are already struggling to stay afloat.
It really affects the business because before Crown, the customers are complaining about the prices, and because of the government is increasing, we also have to increase the price. This is where we get our income and so to it. If the government increase the water bill and the electricity bill, we may lose a lot of clients, the customers, and we don't want that too.
The Public Utility Regulatory Commission, however, explains that the upward adjustment of tariffs could have been more if not for the current economic difficulties. Small businesses are calling on government to consider their concerns and find alternative solutions to address the challenges facing the utility sector. Judith Brown, TV3 News.
Well, business owners are adjusting prices to reflect the increment of utility tariffs. Let's know what you make of this. Just engage us. We're live on Facebook, TV3 Ghana. Your opinions and comment will be read and shared to the rest of the world. And now the Volta Regional Minister has tasked the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, to take immediate steps to address the recurring power outages in the region. James Gunu, who paid a surprise visit to the regional office of the company in Ho Tuesday morning, expressed his content about the intermittent power outages, which is said is causing damages to economic and social life of the people in the region.
The Volta Regional Minister's visit to ECG comes in the midst of raging concerns among residents over the intermittent power supply crisis in the most parts of the region. The situation has become worse in recent weeks, with households experiencing either low voltage or light out almost every night, a situation the minister says is affecting both economic and social life.
I have received a lot of complaints. Myself, I'm feeling it. We are not happy with the services that you are rendering to us. Let there be communication, regular communication with the people. Tell them today you are going to put off their light. Let them prepare for it. Let them prepare for it. We'll be there and they will be light up. Every now and then light up. People's fridges and other things are spoiled as a result of that. They will start charging you for this thing. Why? Electricity Company of Ghana, Volta region. What is happening? Please. So I'm here representing the entire region. Tell me and make sure you tell others what exactly your plans are. People are reading, a meaning into this. That is a sabotage.
But the Volta Regional General Manager of the company, Christiana Jato Kaleo, in her response, explained that much of the problem leading to the outages lie with the Ghana Grid Company Limited, GridCo. She, however, assured the regional minister that the company is already collaborating with GridCo to resolve the situation.
The whole of the week, we've been having engagements with GridCo because they transmit to us. If what they are giving us is not up to the quality or the standard, we can't do much. If what they are giving us is already low, it means those at the very far end, by the time it gets to you, it's low. So that one, ECG doesn't have much to do. It's our, let me say, whether it's our twin brother or our senior brother who would help us. And we are in talks. In fact, the whole of the week, yesterday we went on our system you notice that around the night, between 9, 10 there, it goes off. They are system trips. And because we are taking from them, when they are off, we are off.
And now Ghana's National Sanitation Day is set to resume on May 3, 2025 as part of efforts to tackle the country's sanitation challenges. The Ministry of Local Government, Sanitation, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, led by its Minister Ahmed Ibrahim, expressed concern over the widespread filth affecting both land and sea.
According to the Minister, National Sanitation Day will take place on the first Saturday of every month from morning until 10 a.m. The ministry is collaborating with Christian bodies to raise awareness and encourage participation in the initiative.
On the 3rd of May, the whole country is going to start the National Sanitation Day. Everybody will be part of it from morning up to 10 a.m. No shops will be opened. Nobody will have to go to work. We have to make sure that we all come on board to fight the cholera outbreak. For you are not sure of the next victim. It may be you, it could be me. The earlier we came together to put our hands on deck and fight it, the better.
The Christian community has pledged its support for the President's vision to instill a culture of cleanliness among citizens.
We want to assure you that we will do our best, because it's not just a responsibility, but it's an obligation. And as people of faith, we are obligated to do this, and we'll surely tramp it home to make sure that we do it.
I charge all Presbyterians all over this country, as well as non-Presbyterians, to join as we make sure that the National Sanitation Day becomes something that will transform our societies, give us more hygienic communities, and give us better health for our living.
For this particular one, my directors are suggesting that May 1 is a holiday. We could use that. So we will set the pace for your May 3rd. Or May 4, which is a Sunday. Usually we use Sundays to work. As long as you work with us in that, we would work with you.
National Sanitation Day was first introduced in 2014 in response to the cholera outbreak, but was later suspended due to low publicity and participation. On November 13, 2017, former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo launched the National Sanitation Campaign in Accra to tackle the poor sanitation.
Well, let's still stay on sanitation, as the quality of sanitation service delivery has come under intense scrutiny following visit by Parliament's Committee on Sanitation and Water Resources to various municipal assemblies in the Greater Accra region. The committee expressed dissatisfaction with the performance of service providers responsible for waste management services and that the Sanitation Management Improvement Package SIP.
On the second day of the tour, the committee visited Ablekuma West, Ablekuma North, and Wejabawe municipal assemblies to assess sanitation conditions on the ground. Members expressed dissatisfaction. Honorable Kweku Amprachum Sapon, a member of the committee, and MP for Mampong, questioned the value for money in the Sanitation Improvement Package contract and called for a comprehensive review of Zoom Lion's operations.
It is something, every assembly that you go, they appear to have issues of Zoom Lion. Non-performance, underperformance, put together. And it looks like it is not a yesterday's matter only. It's been something that has been going on over the years. Well, like I said earlier on, this is a year and this is a period of resetting. On sanitation, I think there's going to be a positive resetting.
The committee chairman, in response to the findings, assured that the issues raised would be addressed after thorough analysis.
It's going to do everything possible. I've been having discussions with our leadership of Parliament this morning about the happening. Most of them got in touch with me. There are several other stakeholders who called yesterday, and you can see that Ghanaians, a majority of stakeholders, leadership, have interest in this issue. So we are going to take it up very soon. The committee is going to liaise with leadership and ensure that after presenting our report, I told you yesterday that it's going to be a nationwide exercise.
The committee also said alternatives should be created to bring competition in the sanitation services provided by Zoom Lion.
There appears to be no competitor. contract signed has always been with Zoom Lion, and he has no challenger. I believe that if the sector is open up, the sanitation sector and the business relationship between government and we have other players coming on board, I bet we will see some improvement.
The Municipal Assemblies called for inclusion in the SIP contract process. The talk continues in other parts of the region as the committee intensifies efforts to ensure accountability and improve sanitation services across Ghana.
And now the Glife wetland in Ablekuma West, once a vital ecological zone, has now turned into an unofficial landfill, raising serious environmental and health concerns. Residents are calling on authorities to intervene as the growing waste poses a threat to their lives and livelihoods.
Since 2021, waste from surrounding communities and part of Greater Accra region are dumped at the Glife wetland, turning it into a sprawling dump site. Residents say the site is now a major health hazard. They called on authorities to urgently shut it down.
Stay with my family over here, and due to this dumping of refuge, we are suffering. Our children are even suffering, and of late we don't have proper hospital around that if maybe there is something serious emergency that can help us. So please, we're pleading to the government to take it speedily to overturn these people out from here, because we are suffering.
Municipal Environmental Health Officer Samuel Tete revealed that clearing the site would require an estimated budget of 7 million Ghana cedis.
The last proposal we wrote, something around 7 million Ghana cedis. Yes, it's deep. It's very deep. What we are seeing is just the surface. It's deep. Even if we use 20% of our generated IGF, we have about 5.6. 20% of that will be about yes. So it will take decades.
The chairman of the Sanitation Committee in Parliament says swift measures will be put in place to find a permanent solution.
Whoever is involved, whoever is being paid money that is not being accounted for or work not being done, we will ensure that the right things will be done. Because the assembly, that is what assemblies are calling for. Every assembly, where we went so far, you were there, you saw. If you saw the people, we cannot continue to take the people for granted. So we'll do everything as a committee with their support, and our leadership are very committed, ready to support us. And we will deliver on this issue. We are not going to joke at all.
Despite the health concerns, the area remains active, not just as dumping ground, but as a work zone for scrap dealers who have set up camps on the site.
More times, if you are working and you are not supposed to tell someone what you have been earning a day or something, but little drop of water make a mind situation. The small that you have been getting, you have been maintaining. The thing is that if you don't work, you will not get. People have been coming for it.
As pressure mounts, the question remains whether the government and local authorities can act swiftly to restore the wetland and protect the health of the Glife community.
Well, before we part company, tension is escalating in the Ashanti region as supporters of aspiring metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives, MMDCEs, threaten violence if their preferred candidates are overlooked. The situation has already turned volatile, with reports of vandalism targeting party offices in Kumewu and Asante Mampong following disputes over nominations. Ashanti Regional Minister Dr. Frank Amoakohene has issued a strong warning to individuals exploiting party affiliations to destroy peace and destroy public property.
Apart from the Kumasi mayor, the president is here to nominate MMDCEs for the remaining 42 assemblies in the Ashanti region. The prolonged delay has left residents frustrated, with many complaining that the absence of appointed leaders is stalling critical development projects in their communities. The uncertainty has also fueled agitation among supporters of some MMDCE hopefuls, leading to destruction of party properties. In response, the Ashanti Regional Minister and head of the Regional Security Council, Dr. Frank Amoakohene, has cautioned the aggrieved factions to wait and respect the nomination of the president.
Any riot whatsoever goes definitely there entirely at the president. The president will make the appointments, and we would work with the appointments that the president make. No one will be allowed to force our hands to choose someone else for the president. The president will make that appointment. We are expecting it soon. We only call for calm and call for support for whoever the president names so that we will be able to, as it were, move the country forward.
He also warned them not to take the laws into their hands.
I have put the security on red alert, and I have told each and every one, whoever is a party member, that don't go and misbehave and shield or hide behind any party colors. And I've also picked information that others are mobilizing to support aggrieved candidates. Some people want to cry more than they believed and just clad themselves in party paraphernalia and go out there and misbehave as though they are aggrieved party supporters who are misbehaving. Crime knows no color. If you want to take the laws into your own hands, you will make sure that you crack the whip and make sure that you prosecute him. So that should be a benchmark for anyone who has in mind that when the names come, they would want to go out there and then misbehave. That when you are found at the wrong side of the law, definitely don't come to our offices begging. Because if you do that, you are disgracing the president, you are disgracing the party, and you are disgracing Madagascar and our democracy. And we are not going to be tolerant when it comes to this issue.
Well, let's see how the nominations pan out in ensuing days. Our correspondent will be bringing all the updates in the region in a subsequent bulletin. But that's how we end the morning news. For more news updates, you'd want to log on to our website, it's 3news.com. Also, follow us on Instagram, 3news.gh, for all the latest updates you'd want to know. My name is George Quentin. Thanks for watching. In a world where you can be anything, just be kind. It costs nothing to be kind. Have a good morning.